Nagbabalik ang PTV Sports. Kasama natin ngayon si Louie Sangalang, MMA champion, Ironman finisher at North Pole Marathon survivor. Bukod sa pagiging atleta, isa rin siyang motivational speaker na nagbabahagi ng kanyang journey ng resilience, determination at pushing limits sa sportsman o sa buhay. Good morning,
sir.
Louie.
Hi, good morning, Miss Daniela and Miss Meg. May kaapelido.
Oo nga, akala ko kamag-anak kayo ni Danny.
Actually, parang malayo na kami
Yeah, I
magkamag-anak
think, yeah.
hanggang Zimbabwe.
Opo.
Hanggang Zimbabwe na.
Ganun kalayo.
Napag-usapan ninyo.
Yes, hanggang tawi-tawi na to.
Of course, Louie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me po.
Now, Louie, you're known to have a lot of sports. Nag-MMA ka, nag-triathlon ka, and North Pole Marathon.
Yes po.
Out of all these sports, ano yung pinaka-challenging for you?
I think pinaka-challenging is the North Pole Marathon. Kasi sa North Pole, there are so many factors to consider, no? Maliban sa fitness level mo, you have to train your mind. Kasi lalo sa North Pole, you have minus 40 degrees of weather, no? Tapos meron ka pang iniisip na mga polar bears na baka habulin ka habang tumatakbo. So I think yung combination ng factors of yung climate, the environment, tapos yung training, plus yung gear mo, kasi you have to be ready, are the most, I would say yung pinakamahirap of all the sports na pinasok ko.
From that very grueling experience sa North Pole, nag-change ba yung perception mo sa thermal limits?
Yes, definitely kasi I thought I was ready na, no? Pero nangyari, nagka-abirya ako. You know, I started having problems at between kilometer 20 to 30. Kasi I think yung shoes na ginamit ko medyo kulang sa thermal insulation. Buti na lang may teammate ako doon na pinahiram ako ng shoes at natapos ko yun. So, just goes to show na, you know, how no matter how prepared you are, marami talagang pwedeng mangyari na problema. But you just have to find a way to, I guess, you know, deal with all of these things. Yeah.
Actually, partner, bukod pa dyan, he is also a motivational speaker.
Oh, yeah.
At tapos may background din kayo sa hosting. Tell us more about it, sir.
Yeah, okay. So that's very interesting. So after ko mag North Pole Marathon, I got invited to a few, you know, let's just say events, corporate events, to talk about my experience. And very interesting kasi I never was really into these kinds of things, no? But, you know, a friend of mine told me, you know what, Louie, yung pinagdaanan mo kasi hindi lahat ng tao pinagdadaanan yan. Like, you survived cancer, you became a professional athlete, tapos you became a corporate guy. So, isipin mo na lang na pag nagsasalita ka, nakakatulong ka rin sa ibang tao, no? And true enough, may mga nagre-reach out, yung mga may terminal illnesses, whether themselves or my family. So I decided to, you know, put the word out there to talk about my experience, and not naman sa magyayabang ka, pero to share these experiences to help people get over also all their challenges in life. Hindi siya perfect in the sense that I cannot tell people na, oh, bukas magbago ka na kaagad. But what I want to do is, you know, put out the message that you can do something about your situation. And that has snowballed. Na-invite na rin ako maging anchor sa PGMN, a digital news channel, Peanut Gallery Media Network. And I talk about societal issues, you know, issues with family and mental resilience, as well as business.
Which is good, no? From sports, it became a platform for
Yes.
Louie just to reach out and motivate other people through his life story.
Yes.
And, you know, with one of your interviews, you've mentioned that life does not stop at 40.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
for many, feeling nila pag isa kang atleta, may expiration date.
Well, the reality is kapag isa kang atleta, physically, meron ka talagang expiration date. Depending also kung ano yung sport na pinasok mo. Diba? Like for example, I find athletes like in chess, no, they get stronger as they age kasi mas marami silang experiences, diba? Also, napapansin ko kasi after combat sports, nag-transition ako to endurance sports, which is triathlon, marathons, and all of that. Kapag hindi pa bugbog yung katawan mo sa laban, di ba, pwede mong gamitin yung katawan mo to do more individual sports that you challenge yourself. No? So, pagdating po doon, I don't think na may expiration. Now, the other thing about, let's just say, expiration kasi, the challenge, I think, with a lot of athletes kasi hindi nila alam kailan sila titigil, no? Parang gusto pa nilang lumaban, gusto pa nilang
Yung momento.
Tama
No,
po,
I
di ba?
guess parang pinipilit pa nila.
Pinipilit pa nila. So, at some point, kailangan mong tanggapin. Like ako, I know, my last fight was before the lockdown. No? When I retired, when I took my early retirement 2017, sabi ko balik ako sa sports. Tapos lumaban ako. Pinayagan ako ng Games and Amusement Board na lumaban after 17 years no? Out of MMA. Tapos yung nakalaban ko was 22 years old. No? Pamangkin po siya ni Luisito Espinosa, former boxing champion natin. I was 44, he was 22, so half my age. And now, as I turn 50 in a few years, in a couple of years, ang iniisip ko, yung sport na papasukin ko will be less na yung mabubugbog talaga yung katawan ko by somebody else. Kasi mas mahirap kontrolin yung may partner ka eh. Diba? Pag combat sports or competitive sports tulad yan, hindi mo maiwasan yung injury. And I think a lot of people have to consider that, especially when you're into contact sports. So ngayon, ang focus ko po is endurance sports, then also jiu-jitsu, which is still contact, but siguro you just have to worry about one contact, which is yung when they try to choke you out or try to submit you. Pag MMA kasi lahat po yan na tinitignan mo, yung siko, yung suntok, yung sipa.
So would you say that endurance sports is somehow safer than contact sports?
I would say it's safer, but it does not kumbaga, eliminate all risk. No? Ang karamihan na nangyayari po sa endurance sports, especially pag individual sports tulad ng triathlon, is that, of course, may accidents pa rin. No? Like, kung nagbabike ka, pwede ka mabunggo. Tapos napapansin ko, I've been in a few events na unfortunately may mga nagpa-pass away lalo na sa triathlon because of the swim. No? Yung mga first-timers, yung nabibigla, lalo na pag pinapakawalan kayo sa dagat, kasi sabay-sabay po kayong lalangoy. Minsan nangyayari, they panic, tapos hindi nila alam yung gagawin nila. Tapos yung isa naman po is very important, yung nutrition, tsaka yung tinitignan mo po na, halimbawa, pagod na pagod ka na, pero ayaw mong tumigil kasi gusto mong patunayan na kaya mo pa, di ba? Pero lalo na pag mainit, yung heat stroke dapat So there are a lot of risks. There are risks in any sport. I guess ang pinaka-importante pag endurance sport, maintindihan mo lang yung limit mo. Tapos pipilitin mo up to a certain limit lang talaga. Because pag pinilit mo pa, mahirap na eh. Kasi, yung disgrasya mahirap iwasan talaga.
Tama po kayo dyan, sir. But going back lang, sir, how has your experience as a cancer survivor influenced the way you approach challenges in sports and in life na rin?
Very good question. I competed in The Apprentice One Championship. So it's a business reality TV competition. And yung transition ko from an athlete has helped me towards yung mga challenges namin doon. Kasi we have the format of the show is meron kang physical challenge, tapos meron kang business pitch. No? So that actually helped kasi yung mga pinagdaanan namin doon na physical challenges, medyo madali na for me. No? But after kasi nun, immediately meron kayong business pitch. So kailangan very sharp ka. And a good thing that happened as an athlete, and a lot of athletes can attest to this, yung disiplina kasi na prepare mo yung sarili mo doon eh. Di ba? When you have the discipline, tapos meron kang regimen, tapos very very sharp yung let's say yung program mo to develop yourself as an athlete, pwede mong gamitin yon in business, in competitions like that, or even in your day-to-day life, di ba? Paano mo inasikaso yung pamilya mo, yung kalendaryo mo. Right now, I'm working on a fintech company that we're marketing here in the Philippines, and because startup siya, di ba? You have long days, you have long nights eh. Yung disiplina po na natutunan ko doon, ginagamit ko siya ngayon sa pag-establish nitong business na to in the market in the Philippines. Yeah.
Nakikinig pa lang ako kay Louie, parang na-overwhelm ako sa sobrang dami ng activities mo sa buhay. But what maybe habits or mindset do you have in order to push through these difficult times or even manage your time?
Yeah, very good question, Ms. Meg. Kasi naniniwala ako that all the things that we do, kailangan meron tayong nakaset ng mga goals, di ba? Parang anong gusto mo ma-achieve, for example, in business? Anong gusto mo ma-achieve sa, let's say, even in teaching, kasi I used to teach, di ba? Anong lesson plan ko for today? So ang ginagawa ko po dito is that when I have the goals already set, like for example, in a year kasi I set like maybe like 1 or 2 goals for each of the areas in my life, like family, business, whatever, di ba? Tapos may ranking po yun, number 1. Number 2, ginagawa ko po sa oras ko, kino-compartmentalize ko siya. So meaning to say, for example, I will allocate like 1 to 2 hours in creating a lesson plan, for example, for school, or I allocate like maybe like 4 to 6 hours in creating a go-to-market strategy for the fintech company. Ang ginagawa ko po dyan, I make sure that itong mga blocks na to, sa kalendaryo ko, pwede ko siyang galawin. Para hindi ako nagigilty, di ba? Kasi ang nangyayari, pag halimbawa, minsan hindi mo nagawa, parang ay sayang oras, ganyan, di ba? But kung pwede ko siyang i-switch, gagawin ko. Like, in a day, I have 2 workouts, morning tsaka evening. Usually, that's 45 minutes or 1 hour lang. So, ang ginagawa ko po, kung hindi ko nagawa yung umaga, okay lang, meron pa akong gabi. Diba? Or yung isa, ililipat ko, tapos pagsasabayin ko na lang po siya. I think, yung buhay ko kasi ngayon, as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, hindi kasi siya like the usual 8 to 5. Ina-acknowledge natin yun na meron talagang day-to-day na 8 to 5. Pero I remember nung nagta-triathlon ako, I was working 9, usually I would start my day from 8 or 9 in the morning hanggang mga, let's just say 6 or 7 in the evening. That I would be traveling to and from my place to Makati where I used to work. So ang ginagawa ko to train, yung trainer ng bike, yung kinakabit mo para ka pwedeng mag-stationary biking, dinadala ko po yun sa garahe or doon sa basement where I park. Tapos minsan doon ako magbabike bago ako pumasok. Talagang tsatsagain mo.
Seriously, ang dami. Feeling ko, pag nakita ko yung calendar ni Louie, it's just very overwhelming. At bukod sa napakadaming activities ni Louie, you're also a parent.
Yes, I am. I'm very fortunate that my daughter is already in the US. Hello, hi Selena. Incidentally, her name is also Danielle.
Oh,
no, yes.
good choice. Danielle Sangalang. Danielle Sangalang siya.
Yung last name po niya yung sa ex-girlfriend.
Okay,
Kasi I had her
okay.
when I was very, very young.
Oh, nice.
It's an open story naman. So, she's now 27 years old. In a few years, in a few months, she'll be 27, I think. So, ang nangyari is that, she was also an athlete, basketball player siya dati sa Miriam, tapos when she went to the US, basketball player sa high school. But she's now working. It's a good thing that when she was still here in the Philippines, I would be able to spend time with her, although limited. But for example, with my wife kasi, now she's getting back into sports and I try to influence her, no? Pero there was a time na talagang active siya na sa pagtatakbo, no? And yung aquathlons and whatnot. So, ang goal ko kasi is not to force my family to do the same thing that I do, no? Kasi mahirap eh. Parang the intensity kasi usually of athletes, iba yung level. Unless athletes kayo as a couple na nagkakilala, di ba? So, pwedeng ma-relate. However, what happens ngayon is that my wife is very supportive of all the things that I do. Meaning to say, like, if we are going to an event, she prepares the hotel. Yun yung mga gusto niya. Nagpe-prepare siya ng hotel, yung mga kakainan namin, yan, gustong-gusto niya. Tapos, ang nangyayari is that, for example, for triathlons, di ba, may tinatawag kasi na racecation. No? So yung race mo, ginagawa mo na rin na bakasyon. And we've done that a lot. Like, after the race, we would spend a couple of days or so in the place that the race is held. Tapos doon po namin sineselebrate yung siguro yung fact na natapos ko yung race o whatnot.
Actually, parang instant gratification yun para sa sarili mo.
Yeah.
After the hard work sa training, you have to treat yourself with a vacation.
Yeah.
And actually, partner, agree ako sa'yo. Grabe yung schedule ni Sir. Very organized from being MMA, triathlon, tapos motivational speaker, being a dad, and being a husband. Diba? Organized talaga yung, sir, parang planado. But how do you define naman, sir, resilience today in our society?
Okay, yung resilience kasi, very important to. I think a lot of Filipinos are resilient. No? Yung resilience kasi, simply put, bouncing back from adversity. Meaning to say, pag may nangyari sa'yo, makaka-recover ka kaagad, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And ang resilience kasi, based on neuroscience kasi, marami siyang factors. There are 6 factors to it, no? And as a certified resilience coach, I actually teach this, no? Now, the resilience part of life kasi, when I say like mga Pilipino, talagang resilient yan. Kasi ang resilience is not built overnight, no? Ang nangyayari po kasi dyan, di ba? Usually, pag halimbawa tayo, like example, yung mga loved ones natin, di ba, nagka-problema tayo, let's say, nagtalo tayo, nag-away, di ba? So, ano nangyayari? Parang gusto ko na yata makipag-break dito sa loved one ko. But if you think about it, no, if you allow yourself to process yung nangyari na yon from a more rational, non-impulsive standpoint, you start to realize, mukhang kaya pang ayusin yung relationship, di ba? Kaya pa natin ayusin yung relationship. And itong experience na to, na paulit-ulit na nangyayari to, basically ito yung nagpapatibay sa atin, di ba? Para ka nagkakakalyo, no? Pero ang ayaw mo kasing mangyari is that maging unemotional ka na rin. So essentially, ang nangyayari dito is that because of these hardships, you learn how to manage them better if you do it the right way. And that to me is how you build resilience. Kasi minsan yung ibang tao nangyayari is nagwawala sila, no? I mean, at some point, all of us, minsan nangyayari talaga yan, di ba? You don't know what to do, you become desperate. Kaya, one of the more important practices pagdating sa resilience, ako personally, yung tinatawag natin na willful hardship, talagang pipilitin mo yung sarili mo mapunta sa isang sitwasyon na mas mahirap. And common way of doing it, for example, nahirapan ka sa weight mo, dahil feeling mo medyo mabigat ka, di ba? So, imbis na mag-escalator ka, you take the stairs. Very simple lang, di ba? Parang pahirapan mo yung sarili mo ng konti para ma-achieve mo yung goal mo. Yeah.
But I like that,
Galing, sir,
no? There are alternatives naman talaga to take. It's a matter of decision kung ano yung gagawin mo just to improve yourself. But in line with resilience, I'm sure that there are moments where you felt burnt out.
Yes.
Paano kayo nagre-reset?
Okay. Unang-una, sinasabi ko sa mga tao na humihingi ng advice, di ba, na may mga bagay talaga na kailangan mo nang i-give up. No? Hindi pwede yung parang gustong-gusto mo, tapos ayaw mo mag-give up. No? And may mga indicators dito. No? Like for example, one indicator is, yung ginagawa mo ba nakakasama na sa pagkatao mo? Di ba? Does it compromise your core values? Kung yun, yung bagay na yon is so difficult for you to do kasi labag siya sa core values mo, huwag mo na gawin. Huwag mo na ipilit, di ba? Also, if it harms your physical well-being, di ba? Alam mong nasasaktan ka, why be in that situation? Now, yung resetting kasi is that when you accept certain things cannot happen, then you have to siguro recalibrate. No? Una, nagre-recalibrate ka Kaya ko pa bang gawin to? Ina-assess mo yung sitwasyon na yun. Kung hindi na talaga kaya, ang resetting is accepting muna. I have this belief that, di ba yung sinasabi ng expect the unexpected. Ako naman, ang sinasabi ko, you have to accept the unexpected. Pag nangyari yung isang sitwasyon na hindi mo, kailangan mong tanggapin kasi nangyari na yan Then, from the acceptance, when you start again to rebuild yourself or reset. No? It's easy to say it unless na nandun ka sa sitwasyon na yun. Kasi ang dami-daming tao talaga nagiging desperado. I used to drink a lot before. I always tell people that in my younger years, I think I was an alcoholic. Yeah. So I was not diagnosed, pero ang sinasabi ko is that umabot sa point that when my daughter was born, I had to accept the fact that I could not keep on living na ganito. Kailangan kong baguhin yung buhay ko. And I started taking care of my health. I was 180 pounds noong time na yun, around 88 kilos, parang ganun kabigat, at my height. So sabi ko, kailangan ko ayusin to because I want to be healthier for my kid. I want to see my kid, as she goes older. And that was kind of the inspiration for me.
Picking up dun sa sinabi ni Louie, madami akong mga atleta na nakakausap who also undergoes through depression or any challenges or mga problema sa buhay. What is your key advice sa mga kabataan, not just athletes, who also is experiencing mga issues sa buhay nila?
Okay, I actually have a topic on my as an anchor that was supposed to come out last night, but I think they moved it today, where I specifically talk about mental health. And I think that a lot of people in the Philippines have undiagnosed depression. Kasi merong tayong mentality na parang, hindi, kaya ko to, macho ako. Lalo na pag lalaki, lalaki ako, titisin ko to. And normal yun, di ba? Gusto natin mag-sacrifice para sa pamilya natin. Gusto natin magpakalalaki para sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. Ako, ang advice ko sa mga tao na na dumadaan sa mga challenges na to is number one, kung hindi nyo kaya, okay lang naman humingi ng tulong sa ibang tao, di ba? Whether kaibigan, kamag-anak, gusto mo, kaaway mo, kalaban mo, humingi ka ng tulong, ay, desperate na ako, baka may tutulong ka, then go do it. Hindi lahat ng tao merong mapagsasabihang mga kaibigan, kapamilya. And I think sa mga cases na ganito, pwede naman po tayong lumapit sa mga professionals, no? Yung mga marunong magdala, magtanong nitong mga sitwasyon na to. There are a lot of professional and qualified people who are willing to listen to us. Alam ko po may hotlines po yung natin, DOH natin for mental health that you can call pag talagang wala na. Yung mga, unfortunately, I have to say it, yung mga suicide hotlines, di ba? Pwede po tayong tumawag dyan. Or, you know, you can reach out to people na, not necessarily friends, but people na you look up to, no? Sa buhay mo, like, siguro mga former teachers mo, former coaches mo, di ba? Pwede mo rin silang lapitan. I'd like to believe na meron isa o dalawa na talagang tutulong sa'yo, regardless, no? I think that's the first one. You ask for help from people. And second is that, iwasan mo yung mga situations na mapupunta ka sa hindi magandang sitwasyon, no? I used to drink a lot, di ba? So ngayon, I rarely drink. So I don't want to put myself in the situation na alam ko na kapag nandyan, mapupush ka. Alam naman natin. Matatempt, mape-pressure ka. Masarap talagang, you know, to have a good time, to drink with your friends and then talk about a lot of things, di ba? Reminisce. Pero kung pwede mong iwasan yung mga bagay na yan, especially kung may mga problema ka na, gawin mo na lang yon. Kasi nangyayari is that pag may problema ka na, ininuman mo pa, di ba? Parang mahirap na. So, second is to avoid that. And third is, you know, siguro, you know, you create a plan to, again, reset, di ba? To better your life, no matter how small. Maybe you can start walking, maybe you can start reading more. Hindi naman po ganun kahirap, actually, mag-develop ng personality or ng character ng skills natin. But it just requires time and commitment.
Partner, alam mo, kamag-anak ko nga.
Oo.
Kamag-anak ko, ang galing ni Sir eh. Di ba? Grabe
Alam mo,
yung
sa
mindset
totoo
and
lang,
wisdom ni Sir. Ang dami kong takeaway at ang dami kong baon eh.
For me, parang bitin tayo ngayon.
Oo
I mean,
nga.
there's just so many questions I want to ask.
Oo.
Kasi we talk about resilience, but I also want to ask about toxic toughness. Pero medyo naubusan na tayo ng oras.
Pero partner, tandaan mo, kamag-anak ko to.
Oo,
Ang
sige.
galing eh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir.
Happy to be
Grabe,
here.
ang dami naming natutunan
Hopefully get
sa'yo.
invited again. Thank you.
Yes, for sure, sir.